Hey friends, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to the Board Game Garden, and welcome to my ginormous Gen Con preview. So I'm going to be chatting about a lot of games today, and I am so excited. I've been planning out this video for a while. I've been scrolling through the Gen Con preview for 2024 over on BGG. I will have that link down below if you guys want to go and check it out yourself. I believe at this point there is almost like 600 games being released at Gen Con, whether that be for sale or games that are going to be demoed, different things like that. But I'm going to be chatting about a few different things today. I think I might actually put a little list here of what is on the itinerary for today, because this is going to be quite the video, I will say. So basically I'm going to start off by giving you guys a bunch of recommendations of games that I have already played that are going to be released at Gen Con, so you guys can get a good feel if some of those games are ones that you want to check out. So I'm going to be doing that. I also have a stack of games here of games that are on that preview as well that I have, but I haven't had a chance to play yet. So I will show you guys those quickly. Also, I do want to share a bunch of games that I am excited about. So these are games that I have not played that I am looking to either check out at Gen Con or purchase at Gen Con. There's a lot of them. So I did do a little poll over on my Instagram. If you guys are not following me yet, I actually did just recently make a Board Game Garden Instagram. So I have my personal Instagram, which is where I was posting stuff before. It's at Jenna Rose Beasley, but also I just recently made at the Board Game Garden over on Instagram. For all things the Board Game Garden and just board game stuff, I just wanted to be able to have an Instagram where I could just post all about board games. So I made that, so definitely go and check that out. But I put a poll on both of my Instagrams asking if I should narrow down my things that I'm excited to purchase or check out at Gen Con down to 10 games, like my top 10, or if I should just talk about all of the games that I'm excited about, because there are about 20 games that I'm excited about that I did not want to have to pare down to 10. So thankfully, all of the polls, or both of the polls, did have that people would rather just me talk about all of them instead of paring down to my top 10. So that's exciting. So we're going to talk about a bunch of games that I'm excited to check out or pick up at Gen Con. So we're going to do that. And then lastly, I'm going to quickly go through a list of games that I'm looking to hopefully, fingers crossed, demo at Gen Con as well. So if you guys want to see and hear all about these games, then just keep on watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy. Also hit the subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. We'd love to have you here in the garden. We are officially at 28,000 subscribers here in the garden. So a huge thank you to you for hitting that subscribe button and being part of the garden. It makes me extremely happy. But yeah, also comment down below any games that you're looking forward to. Like I mentioned, I will put the preview down in the description box so you guys can go and check out all of the games that are going to be being released at Gen Con. But without further ado, let's get into this Gen Con preview, shall we? So quickly before we get into all of these different sections of this video, I do want to mention that I will be at Gen Con, and last year when I went to Gen Con, I was working a booth, but this year I am free and I am actually just going to Gen Con solely for the Board Game Garden. So I am so excited to have the opportunity to like walk around the hall and actually visit booths and have meetings with different publishers and check out all of the games that are being released and just have time to like wander the hall. That was the one thing that I was really sad about last year, is that most of the time I was at the Third World Studios booth working at the booth, and I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to go out and walk around because once I was finished working at the booth, the expo hall was closed. So yeah, I did have opportunities to like play some games, which was really nice in the afternoons or in the evenings, but this year I will be able to demo some games and go to different booths and check out all the games, and I'm just so excited. So if you guys do see me wandering the halls, please feel free to say hello, come up to me. I will most likely have this t-shirt on one of the days. This is actually a t-shirt that I designed for the Board Game Garden that I have been wanting to release. So let me know if you'd want this t-shirt. It does say, "Let's get cozy and play some board games." And then on the back, it says, "Shall we?" So I think it's really cute. Another thing that I will add is that I did get some stickers printed of this right here. So they say, "Let's get cozy and play some board games" in the same kind of color as my t-shirts. So if you guys do come and say hello, please ask if you can have a sticker. I'll have a bunch of stickers to give away to people that come and say hello. So yeah, I will have those stickers to give away. So feel free to come and say hello. If you don't want to say hello, just like wave from afar. I totally understand. I get very socially anxious, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous for Gen Con, but it's okay. I'm gonna push myself out of my comfort zone, and we got this. Board game people are really nice and fun, and it's all good. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, let's get into the first category. That is all of my recommendations. So typically when it comes to like showing games, I do really love to like show you guys the actual physical box, but there are a lot of games that I am going to be listing off, and I didn't want to go around and collect all of the games just to kind of hold it up for 2 seconds and then pass it along. So what I'm going to do in this section is it's going to be a little bit of like a quick fire. I'm going to just say the name and they're all going to be popping up around me. I might, you know, put a few little things to some of them, kind of chime in and tell you a few things about it. But for the most part, this is going to be a quick fire recommendations, games that I've already played that are on the Gen Con preview that I think you should check out because I had a lot of fun with them. So starting off, we have Cities. Cities is from Devere. It is a fantastic game that I absolutely love. We also have Arcs from Leader Games. This one I've played once and really enjoyed because it has a little bit of trick taking in it, which I love trick takers. We also have Witchcraft. Witchcraft is coming to you by 25th Century Games. Also, Agueda, City of Umbrellas is also from 25th Century Games. I really enjoyed that one when I covered it on the channel. We also have River Valley Glassworks, which is fantastic from All Play. That is one that I am super excited to hopefully pick up a finished copy of because I only have a prototype here, and the finished copy will have all of the different solo characters, which I'm super excited to check out. Also from All Play, we have Things and Rings. This is a party game that we have really been enjoying recently. Also, Foundations of Metropolis. This is from Arcane Wonders. This is a smaller, more affordable version of Foundations of Rome. Also, Cascadia Rolling will be available by Flat Out Games. There's going to be both Cascadia Rolling Rivers and Cascadia Rolling Hills. Also, Nocturne from Flat Out Games. This is going to be, I believe, the 5th in the like Flat Out series. AEG is going to have Let's Go to Japan, which Francis and I are going to Japan in October, and I actually kind of want to pick this one up because I feel like it would kind of help us plan out some things to do in Japan. So also from Incredible Dream, we have A Gentle Rain, which I've been obsessed with, and I will definitely be going to that booth. I kind of want to buy the other version of A Gentle Rain, which is like the Bloom edition, because it has like those 3D flowers. I only have like the standard version, which is still great. I love that game. It's so relaxing. Also from Incredible Dream, we have Kinfire Delve, all 3 of the boxes for that. And I do believe that they're also going to have a deal. If you buy all 3 of them, you get a free playmat, possibly. So I'm looking to possibly get the playmat for Kinfire Delve because it's such a good game. But that's that. We also have from Pandasaurus Games, Courtesans, as well as Mind Up. Those are 2 fantastic large group card games that I've really enjoyed. Thunderworks Games is going to be releasing Stone Spire Architects, or Stone Spine Architects. I always say Stone Spire Architects. Stone Spine Architects, which is from the same designer as Cartographers, and I really enjoyed covering Stone Spine Architects. It was really fun. Also, Evenfall is going to be available, and I have fallen in love with that game. Wild Gardens from Rose Gauntlet Entertainment. I am hopefully going to be able to pick up a copy of that at Gen Con, and it has, one of the expansion packs has a card with me, Penny, and Walt, and it is the cutest thing, and I cannot wait to see it in person. So that is Wild Gardens. I covered that one on the channel. Mistwind is from First Fish Games, I believe, and that one is another one that I covered. It's designed by the same designers as Sagrada, Daryl Andrews, as well as Adrian Adamescu. Loved that game, and I'm hopefully going to be able to grab a copy of that because I really want to see, even if I go there and just see the finished product, I think it's going to be amazing. Also from Floodgate Games, we have Landmarks, which has been a huge hit here in my household. This is like a word big group kind of party game in a way. There's one player that's trying to get you to go in this certain path in order to gain treasure and then find the exit, and you're doing that by giving every other player like words to try to create this path. Really cool game. We have Cascadero, which is a Reiner Knizia title by Bitewing Games, I believe, that I really enjoyed. Mycelia is actually being picked up by Burnt Island Games, and I really enjoyed Mycelia. It's like a mushroom area control game, which I'm surprised I actually enjoyed as much as I did. Skyrise from Roxley is absolutely fantastic. It's a bidding game, which, again, not something I typically love, but really enjoyed that. Sirens, Defrag, and Confusing Lands will be available by Envyborn Games. All three of these I've played solo and I've really liked them. They're little tiny box games. Tangram City I've chatted a ton about, but Capstone Games will have Tangram City. Expeditions Around the World has again been one that we've really enjoyed with friends and family. It's like a game that you can play up to 6 players, and it's very like interactive and has everybody paying attention at the table, which I've loved. Open Season by Sit Down Games is a fun one that I really want to get to the table again. I tried that one out at Adam and really loved it. By 25th Century Games, they are going to have Hamster Roll, which is this very fun, like big circle dexterity game, and you're trying to knock off pieces of other players. Stock Exchange from the Op, which is a very interesting kind of bidding game, I guess you could say, as well. Xylotar from Bezier is one of their many trick-taking games that they are bringing that I've really enjoyed, and I cannot wait to get myself a copy of that. And then lastly, we have Word Traveler, which is again one that has been a really big hit here with like friends and family. This is from Office Dog Games, and I really have been enjoying that one as well. So those are all some recommendations. Apologies if that was crazy long, but all of the games you guys would have seen pop up around me. Definitely recommend checking out those. But moving into the next section of this video, that's going to be some games that I do want to quickly mention that I do have physical copies of. I'm going to try to get a few of these to the table before I go to Gen Con. And I will be posting about them over on my Instagram. And also, I will most likely be filming a vlog for BoatCon, and these games will all be kind of in that vlog. So let's get into that. All right, so these are all games that I saw on the Gen Con preview that I do have physical copies of that I just have not played yet, but I'm looking to play them very soon. The first one is Pass Pass. This is a trick-taking game that I'm very excited to check out. 3 to 6 players. Super pumped, and it's from Funny Fox. I believe I got sent that by Hachette, so huge thank you to them. Next one I'm super excited to play is Next Station Paris. I've played a ton of Next Station London and Next Station Tokyo over on BGA, so I'm excited to check out this one. We also have this one, which I've been trying to get to the table solo, but I just haven't had time. This is French Quarter by 25th Century Games, the fourth in the like crunchy roll and write series, loaded roll and write series by Motor City Gameworks. So I'm excited about that one. I already know it, I just need to get it to the table. Another one that I'm super excited to get to the table is an expansion. This is for Honey Buzz. This is the Fall Flavors expansion. This is going to be available at Gen Con, and I cannot wait to try Honey Buzz with this expansion. So that is another one I'm excited to try. We also have this one, which I'm definitely getting to the table this weekend. This is Rock Hard 1977 by DeVere. Super excited to try that one out before I leave for Gen Con. We also have this one, which I'm going to try to get to the table as well. This is Nova Roma by 25th Century Games as well. I do believe they used the same artist that some of the Garfield games are illustrated by, so it kind of gives me the vibe of Garfield games, but it is 25th Century Games, and I've heard some really good things about Nova Roma, so I'm excited about that. And then lastly, we have this game right here. This is Sacred Valley, which is a tile-laying game from North Star Game Studio, so I'm excited to try that one out too. So those are all of the games that I physically have copies of that I just haven't had a chance to get to the table, but they are going to be available at Gen Con. All right, so moving into the next section, I'm gonna bring in my laptop here, and I am going to, hopefully my laptop does not die, but I'm gonna do a little screen recording just so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at here, because I did open up all of the tabs of the different games that I'm going to be chatting about. So these are going to be all of the games that I am really excited about. So the first three are actually ones that I mentioned already in my most anticipated games for 2024. So I'm going to quickly go through those. The first one being Cafe Barras. This is from KTBG, or Kids Table Board Games. This one I'm so excited about. I actually didn't realize when they mentioned, or when they talked about it before, that there are multi-use cards. So I am so excited for that, because I have really enjoyed games recently with multi-use cards, and this just has the cutest vibe to it. It is designed by Roberta Taylor, which is the designer of Creature Comforts as well, which I really enjoy. So I'm super, super excited for Cafe Barras. The next one that I've already chatted about is Gnome Hollow. This was another one of my most anticipated. This is coming from the Op, and they have been focusing a little bit more on like hobby games, which I think is really cool. But I actually don't know a ton about this one. I just absolutely love the theme of this one. The designer of this one, he actually owns a company called Levity, which does like meeple stickers. And I discovered him from that. And then I followed Levity on Instagram, I believe, and he kept on showing that he was working on a game that was Gnome Hollow, and then I discovered that actually the Op picked it up, so I was really, really happy for him. And this game looks like a lot of fun. I've heard some good things about it. It has some fantastic production with like the magnets and stuff on the boards, so I'm excited to check this one out. Like I said, I don't know a ton about it, but I just love the gnome theme of it. It's just so, so cool. And then the designer is, or seems like, a really, really nice guy. So that is that. The third one that I've already chatted about is Ezra and Nehemiah. This is one from Garfield Games, and this one is going to be available at Gen Con at the Renegade Games booth, I believe. And it kind of, I've heard that it's like a little bit of like a love letter to all of the past games that Garfield Games has produced, because it kind of brings in all of the different things from all of their different games, which I think is very cool. And just like encapsulated, that's not the right word. Encapsulates, is that the right word? Just all of their games, and kind of brings in a bunch of different mechanisms from their past games. And, you know, I love Garfield Games, so that one I am very, very excited about. But moving into the next ones, so these are going to be a bunch of different expansions for some games that I absolutely love. The first one being Aquatica. So Aquatica is one of my favorite games. I absolutely love it. And they're coming out with an expansion called Coral Reefs. So I've heard a lot of good things about this one. It is pretty new, and it brings in a few different things that I've heard. There's like some coral that you can grow onto your different locations and stuff like that. And I just really enjoy Aquatica, so I'm really looking forward to that. We also have another one from Arcane Wonders. This is an expansion for World Wonders. This just brings in more wonders for World Wonders. And I do believe it brings in a slightly different way to score the wonders at the end of the game. So I'm excited to check out that. I've really been enjoying World Wonders, and yeah, that is that. The third expansion is going to be an expansion for Barcelona. If you guys haven't seen my top 100, this one is in my top 100. I've been really enjoying Barcelona, and them coming out with a new expansion, I am just so, so excited about it. It adds the Passage de Gracia, not Garcia. It's designed by Danny Garcia. But this is like a different board that has the Passage de Gracia. And I'm saying that probably very wrong, but it is, I've read that it's like a street that has become very popular in Barcelona that has restaurants and coffee shops and shops and stuff like that. And it's this different board. And also the expansion adds some more of everything else that you have in the game, which is really, really exciting. I have heard though that there's a possibility that they're not going to have copies of this at Gen Con, that they're not going to arrive in time, which I'm a little bit sad about, but we will see. Fingers crossed they get copies, because I really want to get the expansion for Barcelona. Next one is That's Not a Hat. So this is an expansion for That's Not a Hat. It is the pop culture expansion. This is just simply more cards that you can put into That's Not a Hat, we freaking love this game. It's one of my favorite party games, and it has been a huge hit with everybody in our lives. So That's Not a Hat pulp culture I am so excited about. Definitely just picking that one up right away. It's an easy buy for me. So the next section here is going to be a bunch of different trick-taking games. So I noticed with the Gen Con preview this year that there's a bunch of really cool trick-taking games that are coming out. So the first one that I wanted to chat about is Lone Wolves. So this game looks super cool. It's coming from Wonderful World Board Games, which I've actually worked with them in the past for their game called Animals Gathering, which I still own and really enjoy. But this is a 2-player only trick-taking game that has some area control, which kind of reminds me a little bit of a trick-taking game called Jiraku, which I really enjoy. And this one being a 2-player only trick-taking game kind of has my attention. I don't play a lot of 2-player games or like 2-player only games. I would love to more. So this one, hopefully I can pick up. The art looks absolutely beautiful and it looks really, really cool. So that is that. The next one is Fibonaccios, which it sounds ridiculous. It is a trick-taking game. The designer is the thing that really caught my eye because the designer of this is Jordy Adden, which Jordy Adden is actually the designer of Cartographers as well as Stone Spine Architects. And he randomly has a trick-taking game called Fibonaccios, which has nachos on the front and I'm obsessed. So I'm probably just gonna pick this one up. Super easy pickup, little small card game that just looks adorable. All the nachos have little faces on them. It's so funny. So that is that. The next trick-taking game, this is probably one of my most anticipated things of Gen Con. I think this is the cutest thing ever. It is a trick-taking game called Park Life. There is both hedgehog as well as people. So what I've heard is basically there was just one kind of version of this called Park Life that had both the hedgehog cards as well as the people cards, but now they have reprinted it to have them in separate boxes. But the cool thing is that the game actually can, I believe, come in this like plushie. So the plushie is actually like you have a zipper and like you put the cards in the plushie, which I think is like the cutest thing ever. And it just looks so cute. I will also mention that there is a solo mode, which heck to the yes. Please give me more solo trick-taking games. For Northwood is like one of my favorite trick-taking games. So I really want to see what this solo trick-taking game is kind of like, but I've heard some amazing things about Park Life, both people and hedgehog. I've heard that there are some like cards that you're putting into a tableau that then give you like ongoing abilities, which a game that I've really enjoyed recently is King's Trick Takers, which also has that, like different cards giving you abilities. So yeah. This one is just adorable, and the little thing here says, ensure a cozy day at the park by trick-taking. Are you freaking kidding me? It's like the best game for me ever. So you have Park Life people, and then you also have, oh, why do I have both of them here? We have Park Life people, and then we also have Park Life Hedgehog. There we go. Let me go back. There we go. Park Life Hedgehog and Park Life people. So excited about that one. It's from a publisher, I believe it is Charming Games Collective is the publisher. So I'm excited to drop by their booth. And then next up for trick-taking games, we have Rebel Princess, which has been one that I've been wanting to try for a very long time, ever since Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer chatted about this one before, I think it was Essen last year. They picked it up then. Super excited for this one. The publisher of this game, the initial publisher, actually has another game called Zodiac Duel, which is a 2-player trick-taking game about zodiac signs, which I hope to Lord that Bezier Games picks up as well, or a publisher picks up as well, because super excited about that one. But Rebel Princess is one that Bezier is picking up and bringing to North America, so I'm excited about that one. They also have some other trick-taking games. Bezier is killing it in the trick-taking games realm, but that one is Sandbag. I'm really excited about that. They also have Xylotar, which I've already chatted about, that I've already played and love. And then their last one here is Sears Catalog. So this is actually not technically a trick-taking game. It is a ladder climbing game, but I enjoy those just as much as trick takers. And it looks like a very interesting theme to it. It's kind of like cute, but then in the background, there's a freaking like werewolf in the window. So it's kind of like cute and creepy at the same time, but it sounds like a really cool game. But I do believe that this is a re-implementation of a game called Of What's Left by Taylor Reiner, which is Taylor's trick-taking table. I believe that's his channel. So Bezier have picked that up and named it Sears Catalog. Next up, oh no, I have clicked on there. Next up is another card game. This is called Plantopia. So this is actually from a publisher, Ori Game, that I really enjoy, another one of their games called Walk and Roll. And this is one of their card games that I've been really interested in. It is from the designer Daryl Chow, which a lot of his games I've been really interested in. I also have a game called Kopi King, which I believe now is called Bubble King, but it's like all about coffee and like bubble tea and stuff. I haven't had a chance to play that one yet, but I really do want to. But this is, again, another really cool and really cute card game that I don't really know much about, but I am just like obsessed with the art in this game. Look at how cute these cards are. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited to check this one out. It looks very cute, and I just love a good card game. So that is Plantopia. We also have Fate Flip Washed Ashore. So this is a 1 to 99 player game. I am mainly looking at this for a solo game, but this looks really cool because it's coming from Alley Cat Games, and this is like a card, it's like a primarily or just a card game where basically you're going through these cards. These cards actually have like a lot of words and stuff on them, but what I think it is that you're like flipping through these cards and actually going through this like story of like being washed ashore on an island and like surviving and stuff. I think it's super cool. You also have these like little paper clips that are keeping track of things on cards. And I think it looks like a really like big experience in a small box. So I'm really looking forward to checking that one out. That is Fate Flip Washed Ashore. And then another one from Alley Cat Games that I think is just the most adorable thing in the entire world. That is a game called Happy Home. So this is actually a polyomino game where you are decorating a house, which I am actually genuinely very surprised that this has not been done yet. It kind of gives me similar vibes to a game called Dream Home, which is one that I used to love, and I actually ended up selling, which I'm a little bit sad that I did because I really enjoyed that one. But in that one, you're using cards in order to place rooms into a house, where in this one, you already have the house layout, but you're placing polyomino pieces into these different rooms to place furniture. And as someone that played Sims constantly as a child, simply just to build the house and furnish it, not even play with the characters. I didn't care about the people. I just wanted to decorate houses. So that's all I did in Sims. I just absolutely love the concept of this game, and it just makes me so incredibly happy. So I'm excited to check out Happy Home. Next one is Cascadito. I mentioned that I played Cascadero already from Minor Knizia, but Bitewing Games also came out with a roll and write version called Cascadito, which I really want to check out. Cascadero does not have a solo mode, but Cascadito does. So I'm very excited to see if they kind of give the same vibes, but I can play Cascadito solo. So I'm excited to check that one out. Next up, we have Windmill Valley. So I've heard a lot of good things about this. This is designed by Danny Garcia again, which I really enjoy his game Barcelona, as well as Arborea as well. So when I saw that he was coming out with another game by Board and Dice called Windmill Valley, I was automatically very, very interested in it. So like I said, this is coming from Board and Dice, and it looks very, very pretty. I've heard really good things about it with like these little wheels that you're spinning, and I'm just super excited, solely based off the fact that it's designed by Danny Garcia. So that is Windmill Valley. Next up is a game called Adulthood. So this is coming from Brotherwise Games, and I am like so surprised that no one has really talked about this one yet. I haven't heard a ton about this one yet, but it is the most adorable game where basically you're going through adulthood, which maybe that's why people are interested in it, but like the art in this game is so cute, and you're like going through and like, you know, getting a job and doing all the things, buying a house, values, riches, legacy. I think it looks absolutely adorable, and it kind of gives me the same vibes as Pursuit of Happiness is one that I've always wanted to try, where you're also kind of going through life. I also have a game called Your Best Life, I believe is the name of it, that I've been really wanting to play from WizKids that kind of gives that same vibe. So when I saw this, I was immediately like, yeah, I need to go to the Brotherwise Games booth and check out this one because it looks adorable. So that is Adulthood. The next one that I was interested in is a game called Spectacular. So this is from Chili Fox Games, and I honestly don't know a ton about this. All I know is the cover of this game is absolutely beautiful. Look at this. Holy manoli, I'm obsessed. It has a little bit of like grid and stuff, and the main mechanisms of it is we have dice rolling, hexagon grid, open drafting, which I love, pattern building, does have a solo mode, and then there's also tile placement and variable setup. So just all of those, and it having this beautiful cover with the animals and stuff. I'm really looking forward to checking that one out. I also know that Chili Fox Games is pretty known for coming out with some unique games, so I'm excited to see more about that one. Next up, we have a funny little game that I really want to pick up. It is from Game Right, and it is a game called A Bunch of Fun Guys, because they're mushrooms. Fun guy. I think it looks so cute. And basically it says, forage for mushrooms and cook with them to defeat your opponents. I love that. I love the name of it. I love the whole cooking with mushrooms and like defeating your opponents. It looks adorable. There's this little like squishy mushroom dude. And I want to check this one out, see how it plays, and maybe pick up a copy. So that is A Bunch of Fun Guys. Next one is another one from Game Right, and that is called A Midsummer Night's Fair, which like a fair, like with games and rides and stuff, but fair is spelled F-A-Y-R-E, which I'm not 100% sure why it's spelled that way. But basically the little thing here says roll and choose dice to complete mini games, but watch out for the mischievous fairies. So the art in this one looks absolutely stunning. I love the box cover of this one. It sounds a little bit like a roll and write, kind of with each card being a little mini game. Kind of gives me like Rolling Realms vibes a little bit with these like cards and the dice spots. And I think like each of the cards is a mini game, and I just love mini games in games, honestly. So it has my attention. The art is beautiful. So I am looking forward to checking out A Midsummer Night's Fair. We're getting close to the end, friends. Next one is coming from, I do believe, Good Games Publishing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Good Games Publishing. This is a game called Curses and Covens, which if you guys do not know, I am absolutely obsessed with any game that is like witchy themed. And this one looks like it's like a card game. It looks very cool. I love the cover of this one. I'm not 100% sure how it plays, but give me a game that's witchy themed. It plays 4 to 6 players, so it looks like it is like a bigger group game, which is great. But the different mechanisms is hand management, push your luck, and team-based. Oh, interesting. All right, that is that. I'm usually not a huge fan of team games, but we will see. I would love to check that one out. Next one is one that I've heard a lot of good things about. This is called Tirnanug, I believe is how you pronounce it. This is coming from Grand Gamers Guild. And this one looks like a game that I will absolutely love. It is all about drafting these different cards and putting them into these rows, and then each row is going to be scoring in a different way. Absolutely love that. That just grabs my attention right away. And the art in this game is absolutely stunning. I watched Alex from Board Game Co. He did a vlog of him going to Dice Tower East, and he played this one solo and said he really enjoyed it. And it can be played solo, which has my attention. And the cool thing about this is, you guys can see with this picture here, you are going to be drafting cards in a really interesting way because you have your pieces. It's a little bit of like worker placement with drafting. So you're going to be placing a worker in between 2 cards. So you're going to be placing it on the kind of line between 2 cards, whether that be beside each other or one on top of another. And then once you go into the drafting phase, you're going to be able to draft one of the cards that are touching one of your workers, which I think is super cool. And then if you go to draft one and there's nothing touching your worker, then you get to choose whatever card is left from the like grid of cards, which I think is very cool. And it actually sounds like there's a lot of variability with the different like scoring. Each of like the rows, like I said, is going to score in different ways, and there's different cards with different scoring that you can kind of shuffle in game to game. So super, super interested in this one. This is probably one of the higher ones on my list. So that is Tir na Nog. Next up is one that I am so excited about. This is, again, probably one of the higher ones on my list. This one was most recently announced out of all of these, but that game is Parks Roll and Hike. So this is a roll and write version of Parks, which I absolutely love Parks. It is in my top 100, and this looks so much fun. I watched Kavre. If you guys have not gone and followed them yet, definitely go and do so. I will link them down below. But Kavre did a really good how to play of this, so I watched that, and I am very interested in this one. It looks like so much fun, and I cannot wait to check it out. Please hold as my laptop fights for its life because I need a new laptop. It just couldn't handle me screen recording for so long. All right, now we are finally back. Took a while for my computer to get it together, but anyways, moving on to the next game that I am excited about, and that is Harvest. So Harvest is coming from Keymaster Games as well, and this is one that I got like a quick peek at PAX Unplugged. Was it PAX Unplugged? No, I think it actually was Gen Con last year. So I quickly went over and checked out Harvest, and this game looks absolutely adorable. I've seen a few people getting their Kickstarter versions of these, and it looks like absolutely amazing. I don't really know much about how the game plays, but it says open drafting, which I love, variable player powers, and worker placement. So I'm really interested to see how this one plays. I recently discovered that I really like worker placement when it kind of changes up the worker placement and does something unique. So if this one does something unique with the worker placement, I am definitely very much so interested in that. So Harvest from Keymaster Games, I'm super excited to check out. I will also mention that Trey Chambers is the designer of this one, and I really enjoyed his game Imperial Spells and Steam, so fingers crossed this one's good. Next up is a game called Tranquility the Ascent. So I really enjoy the base game Tranquility. That is one that I'm actually surprised was not in my top 100 games of all time, because I've played Tranquility both solo and multiplayer. In multiplayer, you have a little bit of like communication restriction. You're not allowed to say anything, but solo, I really enjoy it. It's actually a very chill, relaxing game that I think is great to bring out every once in a while. But Tranquility the Ascent is finally coming out from Lucky Duck Games, and I'm really excited about this one. There's no like pictures of it as of yet, but I do believe you can play this one on BGA, and I haven't actually played it on BGA yet, but I really enjoyed the base game, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the Ascent adds to it. You also have this one here, which is coming from Oink Games, and it's kind of a cool story, this one, because this is a re-implementation of a game called Zuli, and I distinctly remember there was one vlog that I did where I brought everyone board game shopping. I do think that that was probably a vlog that I put up on my Patreon, which shout out to my Patreon members, and shout out to my Patreon if you guys have not checked it out yet. I always have it linked down in the comments. Be sure to check it out if you would like. But I, every once in a while, put up different vlogs over there, and I did a board game shopping vlog. And in that vlog, I went to Board Game Bliss, and they had a game called Zuli, and I actually asked on the vlog, like, if anyone has seen this game before, and have they played it before. And the cool thing is Oink Games is actually coming out with a re-implementation of it that they are calling Moving Wild. And it looks very cool. There is closed drafting, which I absolutely love closed drafting in games. And the like art in this is really cool, and like I think it looks really awesome with all the different like animals, and the like color scheme is really cool with the orange and the green and the black and the yellow. I absolutely love the way it looks. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. The last time I was at Gen Con, I picked up a few Oink games, so probably going to do the same thing this year, and Moving Wild is definitely one that I want to pick up. So that is that. Next one here is the Search for UOPS. This is coming to you by Renegade Game Studios, the same people that made the Search for Planet X as well as the Search for Lost Species. And this one I do believe is kind of similar in a way to Search for Planet X. I think that this is kind of like the reprinting slash re-implementation. I don't know what this was. They're like groovy quotations. But I think it's like a reprinting slash re-implementation of the Search for Planet X with a little bit more to it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of changes from the Search for Planet X because I really enjoyed that one. Next one here is Fromage, which actually should have been at the beginning because I believe Fromage was in my like most anticipated games of 2024. It's a game about cheese. It's a Euro game about cheese. A little bit of worker placement, but like the board is like turning. Super cool. Very excited for that one. We also have here Middle Ages. This is coming from Studio H, which is a publisher that I really enjoy some of their games. So they have Shamans, which is one of my favorite trick-taking games. They also have a game called Valbara, which I've really enjoyed as well. And there are a few other Studio H games that I've played that I just really enjoy, and I feel like they're not talked about enough. But anyways, Studio H is coming out with a game called Middle Ages. This is from the same designers that made Splendor, or the same designer that made Splendor. And it just looks really cool. I do believe this is a re-implementation of another game. And it kind of like has some really cool puzzle piece sides. So you can only attach things in certain ways that have the same kind of shaped side that can fit together. And I do believe that it's a pretty, or like fairly simple game where you're placing out things and you're grabbing these tiles and then making kind of a tableau in front of you. I love the way this game looks, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays and possibly picking up a copy. I just love the look of it. So yeah, that is Middle Ages. And then lastly, we have a game called Chronologic Paris 1920. So this is a deduction game that I'm very excited and looking forward to. I do believe that these are from, or this is from the same person that made Turing Machine, which I haven't played Turing Machine yet, but I really do need to. Apparently it's a great solo deduction game. But this one I think is the first out of a few that are coming out of this like mystery solving deduction game that I think looks so cool. It's coming from Super Meeple, and I just love deduction games so much. I love Awkward Guests, and this kind of gives the same vibe as Awkward Guests, where you're trying to solve this mystery in Paris in 1920, and you're doing it by deduction. So that one looks absolutely stunning, and I'm super excited for that one. So that was the last on my list of games that I'm really excited to check out or buy at Gen Con. That's a long list, so apologies, but yeah. Let's get into the last section, which are games that I'm excited to demo. All right, so getting quickly into the games that I'm excited to demo. We're just gonna quickly go through these because I guarantee this video is already very long, but there are 13 different games that I would love to demo at Gen Con. I highly doubt I'm gonna get to all of these, but quickly starting off with a game called The Biomes of Nilgiris. Not 100% how to say it, but it is, I believe, a place in India. But it looks absolutely stunning. The main thing that caught my attention is the art in this one. They did reach out to me through email, so I'm excited to possibly be showing off this game on the channel. But it says here, embark on an adventure to explore, discover, and conserve the rich diversity of Nilgiris. That's how you say it. It's coming from a publisher called Blue & Core, which I don't think I've ever heard of that publisher before, but like I said, the art is absolutely beautiful, and any game that brings in like animals, it has my attention right away, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited about that one. Next up, moving into two games, or I guess an expansion and a game from Elf Creek Games. First up, we have an expansion for one of my favorite games. This is the expansion for Merchants of the Dark Road. It's called the Secret Villages expansion, and they recently wrapped up their Kickstarter campaign of this one, so I believe they will have a copy there to show off. So I'm really excited to check out what it adds and stuff like that to the base game of Merchants of the Dark Road. If you guys do not know, Merchants of the Dark Road is, I believe, in my top 20 or just outside of my top 20 games of all time. So Love that one. And then next up from Elf Creek is a new game that I believe they are bringing to crowdfunding at some point. This is one that they actually reached out to me to cover quite a while back, and I'm really excited to see that they're actually showcasing it at Gen Con, so I'm really excited to go and check it out. But the game is called Watches and Clocks of Hickory Docks, which I think is a very cute name, and it looks cute. It says balance quantity and quality as mouse clock masters on Hickory Docks. I'm excited to see more, so that is that one. Moving on to probably one of my most anticipated things to see at Gen Con. This is Knitting Circle. So this is the next kind of game from Flat Out Games that is branching off of Calico. It is a Calico game, and Knitting Circle is 1 to 4 players. Okay, good. I actually saw someone chat about Knitting Circle, and it initially said 2 to 4 players, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how are Flat Out Games coming out with a game that doesn't have solo? Because they just have some of the best solo modes out there, but it is 1 to 4 players. Thank goodness. This one, does it not have any pictures? It initially had 1 picture. Oh, there we go. So this is the only picture that we have, which I guess you're like making scarves, or maybe they're just, oh no, it says scarf, long johns, sweater, and socks. So you're like knitting different pieces of clothing with these different colored tiles of like pieces of fabric, I guess. It just looks adorable, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out at the Flat Out Games booth. So that is Knitting Circle. Next up, we have a game from Floodgate Games. This is a game called Hedge Mage, which I believe it is a polyomino game that I'm really looking forward to checking out. It looks adorable. You're in a hedge maze and you're a hedge mage, and you got some cards that have different polyomino shapes on them. I'm not 100% sure how it plays, but it looks very cool. Here's another picture of like the different polyomino pieces, and there's these like statues that you're like putting your workers on top of. Looks very interesting, so I'm excited to check out that one. The next one we have coming from Hot Banana Games. This game honestly has just grasped my attention because of how beautiful the cover of this game is. This is probably one of the most stunning covers of a game I've ever seen in my life. It is called Moon Bunny, and I just can't get over how beautiful this game is. I don't even know how it plays. I'm just like, I want to play it because it is stunning. So the mechanism here is grid movement, set collection, solo/solitaire, so it does have a solo mode, 1 to 4 players, and tile placement. Okay, yep, that I need to try that. Yep. Hop around the moon, collect ingredients, and craft the ultimate elixir of life. Oh boy, I have very high hopes for this one, so that is one that I'm super excited about. Next up, we have a game from Incredible Dream Studios. This is in the Kinfire world, which I absolutely have fallen in love with Kinfire Delve, and that has kind of made me want to try more of the Kinfire games. There is Kinfire Chronicles, Kinfire Delve, as well as Kinfire Council. So Kinfire Council is the one that I have here, 2 to 6 players, and it looks very cool. I also would love to try Kinfire Chronicles as well. I've heard great things about that one. But this one, Kinfire Council, has voting and worker placement, which I think is super cool. So I'm excited to check out that one and hopefully demo that one. We also have this 2-player only game from KTBG called Layers. So I believe I've heard some things that it's kind of like Battleship-esque, which, fun fact, I absolutely love Battleship. That is a 2-player game that I can get behind. Basically, you are each in like different layers, and I think there's like something in between you, and it's like a little bit of like hidden movement and that sort of thing. What are the mechanisms? Action points, deduction, dice rolling, and grid movement. Ooh, I am excited for that. Cannot wait to play Layers. So that's another one I'm excited about. Next one is Kyoto no Nikko, or Neko, which we are going to Kyoto in October, which I'm very excited about. And again, this cover here just has me. This is another one which like I don't exactly know what's going on in the game, but just the cover of it has grasped my attention. I do believe that it is cooperative, possibly, but also just like, look at these cats. Oh my goodness, adorable. Oh my goodness, baby, it's so cute. So basically everyone's playing as cats and you're all going around Kyoto. And I believe it's like a scenario-based game. So you're playing these different scenarios cooperatively. And it says, play as kittens and explore the modern city of Kyoto, Japan. Yes, please. That's coming from Matago. So I'm very excited to check that one out and see how it plays. Next one is a 1 to 2 player game. So initially this one didn't have my attention. It is called Ironwood, is from Mindclash Games. And initially I thought this was only a 2-player game, but you can play this one solo, which I think is very cool. But basically Ironwood, 1 player is playing as like the wood people, the wood walkers, and 1 person is playing as the ironclad. And it's really cool because the components for each of the players is different. The woodwalkers, their components are all wood, and then the ironclad are all like metal, which I think is very cool. But it is a card-driven tactical duel. So I really enjoy a game called Wizards of the Grimoire, and I think this one kind of gives the same vibes to me. It looks gorgeous. There is a board, I believe, in the center as well. So it's card-driven, but there is still some additional kind of components as well. The components look beautiful. You know that this game is going to be gorgeous production because Mindclash Games does some really, really amazing production in games. But very excited to check out Ironwood and see how that one plays. Next one is from Next Move Games, and I actually saw this one for the first time at Canada Plays, and this is a game called Tree Society. This looks stunning. As the board game garden, I feel like it makes sense that this one has like grasped my attention. The cover of this is gorgeous. It's like tree houses. It's this like society within the trees, and it just looks stunning. I don't exactly know how this game plays. It's designed by Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, which I have enjoyed a lot of their games. So very excited about that. And it actually does not have any mechanisms. Says, in the game of Tree Society, players are asked to help various guilds follow the blueprints to construct new buildings, take advantage of other players to sell your resources at the best price, and earn the favor of new guilds by successfully combining their powers. Ooh, that sounds very cool. Honestly, just the look and the name and like the theme of this one really grasped my attention. But the next one that I wanted to chat about is a game called Inori. I'm very excited to check this one out. This is another one that I saw at Canada Plays. Look at how beautiful this is. Are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. I don't even know how it plays, but just the look of it, I was like, yep, stunning, gorgeous, neat to play. The different mechanism, actually the only mechanism that they have here is worker placement. So you know it's a worker placement game and you know I'm gonna like it. So that is Inori. And then the last game that I'm looking forward to demoing is a game called Citizens of the Spark. So this one's coming from Thunderworks Games, and it, again, looks absolutely beautiful. And I do believe that it is again, like a card-based game with some really cool card play. I've heard really good things about it so far. So the art is really cool in this one. And let me look at some of the pictures of the art. Yeah, it looks like it's literally just a bunch of cards, but the cards are beautiful. And the little saying below here is recruit the strongest and most brilliant animal citizens to your city. Heck to the yes. So that is my last game that I am looking forward to demoing at Gen Con. And that is everything for my preview of Gen Con. We talked about a lot of games today. I'm pretty sure we talked about like upwards of 70 to 75 games. All right, friends, so that is everything for my huge Gen Con preview. I have actually had a lot of fun just sitting here chatting about all the games that I am excited about for Gen Con, whether that be games that I've already played that I'm recommending to you, games that I have that I'm excited to play, games that I'm excited to check out or buy at Gen Con, or even the games that I'm excited to demo at Gen Con. If you're still here, a huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for sticking through this probably very long video. I appreciate it very, very much. But yeah, that's everything for today. If you guys enjoyed, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. We'd love to have you here in the garden. I will be fully vlogging all of Gen Con for you guys. So that might be in one long video. It might be in a few separate chunks. We will see how much footage I get. I'm hoping to get a lot of footage because I am there solely for the board game garden, but I will be taking a lot of like meetings and stuff, and usually you don't really film meetings, but we will see what I can film. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. If you guys are coming to Gen Con, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. I would love to see you there, say hello, maybe even play some games. We will see how much time I have. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for Gen Con. I can't believe it's already like a week until Gen Con. That is crazy to me. I went last year and I can't believe that it's already been a year since I went last. So anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out. I love you guys so, so much. Remember, you are somebody's reason to smile, and I will see you in the next board game video. Bye, friends.